Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Richard Halverson said these words, how true they are. The times demand big men, not men who are big shots, but men who are big in heart and mind. Great men, large-souled men. How true. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Let's get things shaping up right this morning. Good morning. And a good morning to you. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line, start the week off right with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Well, good morning, sir.
You?
Yes, I figured I'd do the pledge this Monday morning.
Well, my dear friend, you just go ahead.
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, my friend, and right now it's time for the weather, and the weather brought to everybody by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Oh, the number to call, 678-3122. They're open Monday through Friday, 7 to 5:30, Saturday 7 to 6. Give them a call, and they can and will serve you with all your equipment and tools and everything else. They've been in business since 1979, and they know how to help you. K&R Rental. Right now, here's the weather.
I'm going to be sounding like a broken record for the next couple of days because, well, welcome to the final day of July as we are moving into the beginning of August, and sunny skies is going to be the mantra at least through Wednesday. Sunny skies and 94 for today is what we're going to be expecting. Winds light and variable. Tonight looks like clear skies with a low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny skies, 95, overnight low of 57, and again for Wednesday, sunny and 95. Tonight, the sunset's going to be at 8:55 if you care to check that out. And that's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
Boy, I tell you what, Gina, thank you very much. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Hello, Roger and the crew. And by the way, they're a Honda engine dealer. They've got all the parts you might need for wheel lines at K&R Rental, 678-3122. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful morning. Great weekend. We'll talk about that in just a moment. And I'll welcome your calls this morning. Let's really have a jam-up, bang-up week, should we? Hey, Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. They can and will make your clothes look like they're brand spanking new. I'm telling you what, you go in with the old rumply crumplies, and then you go back in to pick them up, and holy cow, you go, I didn't know I had a shirt like that. I didn't know that I had my pants looking like, whoa, they look brand new. Well, they do. Dry cleaning really prolongs the life of your clothes. Daryl's Cleaners, 1223 Albion Avenue in Burley. You stop in and see those really nice folks today. The weekend was busy. Boy, I mean, we had rodeos to go to. We had the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame to get taken care of on Friday and Saturday night. And I want to say what a jam-up, absolutely huge success the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame was with the induction ceremony on Saturday night. The place was packed. You couldn't shoehorn more people in there, and we had a wonderful meal at Canyon Crest, and it was, what do you say about something that went off, and it was such a memorable experience? Every one of the inductees just had a wonderful time with their families. We had one family come up with over 52 people representing them, the Jake and Catherine Pope family. It was just phenomenal. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness sakes, don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric. Oh, my goodness sakes, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley for all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. And you heard the forecast for this week, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Yep, all the way through, probably about 93, 94, 95. Well, make sure your air conditioning is working efficiently to keep you cool. Make sure it's got clean air filters, and they've got all those air filters over there at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric. You stop in and see them today. I want to talk about a new sheriff in town for the Trump administration, and we're going to get right to that. General John Kelly sworn in this morning to take over as Chief of Staff, and Reince Priebus out of there. He's gone. Reince Priebus. I don't know as if I ever liked that guy. He always reminded me of kind of a mousy little guy with darting eyes going one way to the other. And, I just didn't trust him. And they needed somebody that was tough. The Trump administration, I think right now, I'd like to hear your response on this, audience. I think the Trump administration needs to slam their fist down on the table and say, enough with the leaks. There won't be any more because you'll be prosecuted to the full extent of what the Constitution and the law says. Number two, they need to come down on the Democrats dragging their feet. They need to really let them know, hey, you are stopping progress for the American people. Either step aside or we'll step over you. Number three, Trump needs to tell the Republican Party it's time that you started working and doing what you were hired for. Stop being so lackadaisical. Stop being so split in all these things that are going on. Get the job done. Calls are welcome, 43622. 441-866-927-4587. I'm sorry I got a cough drop this morning, and in that last little battle, the cough drop won. I want to remind everybody about Denny's Restaurant at 611 Overland and Burley. Caller, I'll be right there, and what a great place to go because it is America's Diner. Oh, the food is fantastic. I love the breakfast. I love those strawberry cream pancakes. Man, I got a new best friend. And you're going to love all the different hamburgers. You're going to love everything on the menu and very nice people serving you at Denny's Restaurant. Like I said, 611 North Overland and Burley and 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. And, of course, it is the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch. Denny's Restaurant in Burley, America's Diner. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Hello, my friend.
Did you enjoy being the MC?
I always do. And I was very honored and humbled to do it again this year. And quite frankly, it was an outstanding event. There was nothing second class about it. It was all first class.
I bet you did. But getting closer to what you were talking about, Reince Priebus, say what you may about him, but, Donald Trump is really a master at putting things together. And he could see the value in Reince Priebus of organizing the White House. In other words, I thought he did a really good job with the Republican Party as the head of it. And you?
Keith, you're kind of treading on thin ice with this subject with me because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm never going to short anybody on honesty on this program. I didn't like Reince Priebus. I didn't like the way he had done things and conducted himself for quite some time prior to the election. I just didn't care for the guy. Like I said, I thought he was kind of a mousy-eyed guy that I didn't know if I trusted him or not. I think the selection of replacing him by putting in former General John Kelly that served 3 tours of Iraq, this guy's tough. And I think right now the Trump administration has to resemble that 5-letter word, tough.
You never did ever do anything that was wrong.
What do you mean? I've done a lot of things that are wrong in my life.
I think he was put in there just to get things organized, and I don't think he was a long-termer from the beginning. But
that could be.
I agree with you on the other things of John Kelly. We need somebody who's tough and has been there and done that, and just don't let anybody shove him around.
Well, Keith, right now,
stir you up just a little bit to get your blood flowing.
Well, you did well, my friend, as you always do, and I appreciate you and Nancy, and God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, sir. God bless. Nice people right there. Hey, by the way, too, I want to start. We've got so many fairs to acknowledge right now and so many great things going on. I want to acknowledge just some of the great merchants in Cassia County that are urging you to attend the fair that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Yes, Dot Foods, 1541 West, 27th Street in Burley. Oh, my goodness, America's leading food redistributor. They offer over 70,000 products from 700 food industry manufacturers. Wow. Dot Foods in Burley, absolutely the best. Golden Valley Warehouse, 468 West 1000 South of Burley. They are such nice people. Whenever we call them, they're ready to serve the community. Locally owned and operated, friendly staff, and they can custom clean your seed if you prefer. Golden Valley Warehouse. And last but not least, Kelly's Bearing Supply, 1407 East Main in Burley. Don't let your machine sit there while you're waiting for a part to come in. Kelly's Bearing Supply keeps everything on hand. You better believe it. You'll know where you're at when you get your bearings at Kelly's. I love that in Burley. Those are just some of the merchants that are urging you to be in attendance and enjoy the Cassia County Fair coming up, like I said, in a couple of weeks. All right, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We are living in a kind of a bubble right now. And the bubble may be popped. I'm scared. I really am about North Korea. Now, I talked to some people over the weekend that, I don't know, they don't share the same concern that I have. North Korea, little fat Kim Jong-un, and their attitude was, well, no, we're not too concerned about North Korea. He's just some little fat dictator that just wants to shake the sabers a little bit. I feel the opposite way. Am I wrong? I want somebody to call me and talk about this. We may ignore it. We may think that this Kim Jong-un is not going to do anything, but I'm not so sure. I'm really getting concerned. The pressure is on right now. And I know a lot of people, I talked to people in New York and Washington, D.C. already this morning, and they too are more than a little anxious about what's going on with North Korea due to the fact that now this little dictator is making statements like, I have the missile ready, I can hit the United States, i.e. Alaska, or maybe Hawaii, or our allies, in Japan. And Trump is working with Japan right now as we speak, saying that we will protect our allies. And he said that all measures to control the situation in North Korea are on the table. Where's China? during all this. I know a lot of you people think, oh, well, this news, that doesn't affect us. Yes, it does. Do you realize that with a missile that could hit the coast of California, I mean, man, look at the fallout, look at the danger, look at everything that could happen in a nuclear holocaust with this idiot, this absolute idiot in North Korea. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again. Now that I've got my strategy in place. Zeb, do you suppose that this is Kim Jong-un, yummy, I think is what they call him, is figuring on a one-shot deal? Because I think it will be over with for him. That it could kill as many as 3,000 people.
No. Wait a minute. You're way off on your figures. Not 3,000, Keith.
What?
You're not even close when you said it could kill 3,000 people.
No?
Oh, heavens no. You're not even close. We're talking millions and millions of people that could die in an exchange of nuclear missiles. Thousands is minuscule. You're not even close on that. We could be looking at a nuclear holocaust that could absolutely, if it occurs, kill millions and millions and millions of people, not only in North and South Korea, but possibly some of the allies like Japan. And God forbid that it ever happen in any way, shape, or form. It might even involve our United States of America. Thousands, you're not even close.
Well, and doggone, I got to agree with you again. But this little guy, if he could just make one big explosion, kill a lot of people and everything, I think he would be almost satisfied, don't you?
I don't know. I can't even read this guy's mindset. I don't even think our government can read this guy's mindset. I don't have any clue as to why this person would want to commit virtual suicide for himself and his country by threatening a power that, yes, we could get hurt by him, but yes, we can annihilate him. I don't understand the mindset.
Well, China could put a stop to this once and for all if they just would.
I don't think they will.
They just want to see a sign of weakening the United States.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Keith, I didn't want to correct you on the numbers, but in some kind of an absolute disparaging attack nuclear-wise, I mean, it's not thousands. We're talking millions, and that's what's really scary. Thank you again for your call. I appreciate it. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, sir. Calls are welcome. You know, this is what's scary. We're tossing around numbers of people that would die. A nuclear exchange is not going to be beneficial to anybody. Nobody wins. This is why the pushing of the red buttons is absolutely so crazy. It's so far-fetched. It would be the annihilation of the human race and the world. And people that have no conscience like this Kim Jong-un have a finger on that button. What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to remind everybody, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And oh my goodness, are they good. All the great physical therapists there, all the exercises, that hydrotherapy pool. Oh, that hydrotherapy pool, the only one of its kind around this area. Wow, it helped me really get back in shape and ready to go. Helping you get back to being you, call the number 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Absolutely. You need to get a hold of them today. 678-1191. And some other folks that I want you to get a hold of, too, and we had Amy on the program with us last week, as a matter of fact, from Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. And they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place, and they invite the public to visit their facility anytime for tours, check them out. They're the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area, and they would love to take care of your loved one. Yep. 924 Christian Way in Rupert, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. All right, come on, give me a call. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know my feeling about sanctuary cities. You know my feeling about the idiocy and incompetency of the liberal left in this country trying to protect illegal aliens and illegal means and methods. Well, in Portland, Oregon, a illegal alien was arrested. He had been deported 20 times. I'm not making that number up. 20 times. And now he's been arrested again for illegal assault and rape of a woman in her home. 20 times this person has been deported. And why? Somebody please call me and tell me. I'm opening the phone line up right now for somebody to call me and tell me any benefit of even considering the insanity of sanctuary cities, or in the case of Massachusetts, a sanctuary state. Sanctuary, why? What about this woman that's living in her home peacefully, and she's attacked and raped, and her whole life has been shattered by an illegal alien that should have never been here? 20 times deported? And Portland, Oregon, one of the worst states, one of the worst cities in the United States for providing security for illegality. What are your thoughts on this? Come on, don't weaken on me. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it. Hey, the big Jerome County Fair and Rodeo is coming up on August 2nd through the 5th, and are they going to have a ripping good time over in Jerome this year? They've got a PRCA rodeo August 8, 9, and 10. And Tuesday the 8th, they're having family night, 12 and under free. Holy cow, they've got all kinds of goodies going on at the Jerome County Fair this year. You don't want to miss it. On Saturday at 4 o'clock on the 5th, they're going to have a junior rodeo. They've got all kinds of fun things planned at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo for 2017. August 2nd through the 5th, don't you miss it. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Why in the world would a city want to provide sanctuary for illegal aliens and create a bed, if you will, of safety and kind of a cloak of darkness for those that are possibly doing illegal and illicit means and methods in the community? Come on, callers, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Please. Now, I'm going to give away some cookies real quick. And these cookies are, of course, from Sophie's Chatterbox. Oh, my goodness. What a great restaurant. What a great bakery. And every Monday we give away these cookies, a dozen cookies, to first-time winners only, please. And here is the question for today. To win the cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street, right on the square in Rupert. This is an easy one of the easiest ones I've asked in probably the last month. What was the name of the Cisco Kid's sidekick? What was the name of the Cisco Kid's sidekick in the TV series? Call me at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Like I said, be fair, be honest, and first-time winners only. So give me a call. What was the name of the Cisco Kid's sidekick in the 50s and early 60s TV series? Come on, I know you know it. It's an easy one. You give me a call as soon as you can, all right? And you'll possibly win the cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox. While I'm waiting for your call, come on, what was the name of the Cisco Kid's sidekick? I want to remind you again real quick, I've got a public service announcement here. The annual Community Ice Cream Social will be at the Rupert United Methodist Church Sunday, August 13th at 6 p.m. right on the front lawn. It is going to be good. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know the problem with our system in this country, they're punishing the wrong people. They ought to be punishing the judge that let the guy out to leave the country, or sent him out of the country and let him come back. They should be getting him for rape and any other crime that guy commits. They ought to be punishing the lawyers. Defend that guy.
I agree.
And sending them to jail right with him for the crime of rape and any other crime he's committed. They ought to be going after his defense attorney and putting him in jail for rape, because he's just as much at fault as the guy. And anybody that advocates a sanctuary city ought to be punished also, because they're just as guilty as the guy that commits a crime.
I agree with you, Jerry, and I
need to be punished. Anybody that is involved in any way whatsoever to do with protecting somebody like this needs to be in jail. They are insane. They do not need to be in a job that has any authority over anybody. They need to be fired, and they need to be put in prison.
Jerry, thank you. Jerry, thank you. I appreciate it. I know where you stand, man, and I'm on your side. I appreciate it. I've got a caller with the contest, and I got to get that on the air. Thank you. God bless you for your thoughts. Thank you.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
He has, buddy. Thank you.
Ruin your whole week.
No, you didn't ruin it. Thank you. Caller number 2, do you have the answer to the question, what was the name of the Cisco Kid's sidekick for a dozen cookies from Sophie's Chatterbox?
I want to say Poncho.
Well, you want to say it or you are going to say?
I'm going to say it.
All right, what's your name?
This is Kevin Simmons.
Kevin Simmons, is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, you are right. It was Poncho. And I'm going to stick you a little harder question on this. What color horse did Poncho ride in the TV series?
Oh, was it a white one?
No. You're kind of close, but no, it wasn't. It was a Palomino.
Kind of white, then.
Well, kind of. Okay. All right, Kevin, you're the winner of the cookies. Stop over and give them a call first and let them know when you're going to be there, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
You bet, buddy. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Kind of. Okay. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I'm on Trump's side 100%. I don't care if it's here locally. Really, everybody locally, they won't come out and say anything. I will. I think sanctuary cities, anything to do with sanctuary, period, over illegalities and illegal aliens, absolutely is destitute of any thought or common decency against us, the taxpayers. I'm going to say that, and I'm going to mean it. And I absolutely applaud the Trump administration for cracking down and saying that there's going to be a withdrawal of funds to any city that acts in an illegal fashion. Why not? We've got laws in this country. You know, are we going to just close a blind eye and a deaf ear to people that are illegal? Oh, well, they're here, but we're just going to turn our head the other way. Okay, you get picked up for speeding. Are you going to ask them to, just turn your head the other way? A guy breaks into your home, steals your property. Oh, well, let's just turn our head the other way. Are we going to turn our head sideways and close our eyes to certain laws and bend the law for certain groups? Or are we going to be a country that respects the law as it should be? I am so sick and tired of hearing these various groups, various association heads, everybody else saying, oh, well, we've got to kind of bend the law a little bit. No. I'm not going to bend the law for anybody. If we've got laws, we need to respect them, regardless of the circumstances. I'm so sick of some of these so-called association leaderships and people that call themselves, well, I'm the head of this association, and then I think we should just bend the law a little bit. What right do they have to change our society and put society members at risk? Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Come on, don't let me down. I really want your opinion on this. Let's talk a little bit about Berry Equipment and Rental. And they have 3 locations to serve you: South Lincoln in Jerome, Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They have all the equipment to get the job done right, including all the Bobcat excavators. New and used excavators for sale or rent, all shapes, all sizes. Oh my, and if you don't know how to run one, they've got a big sandbox out behind and they can teach you in just a matter of minutes. Equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, all of this and more with Berry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. Do you think I'm wrong?
No, not a bit. Because they're used to the last 8 years when the liar-in-chief would just pick and choose what laws he wanted to obey and enforce, and the ones he didn't, they didn't enforce. Same with Hillary Clinton, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, and all of them back there. Even there's a lot of Republicans the same way.
Yep.
They want to pick choose what laws they want to abide by, and the others they're above.
What law would you like to break today, Doug?
Pardon?
I said, what law would you like to break today?
Not paying my taxes.
All right. And what other laws would you like to break today? You're late for lunch and appointment with your wife. Why don't you go ahead through a 35-mile zone and just drive 60 because you're late?
Yeah. Let's drive 60 through a school zone because we don't think it's fair that we have to slow down because parents didn't teach their kids not to play in the street.
Yeah, and when you go to lunch, don't pay for it because you don't want to pay for it. I mean, you want a free one, and you're just going to stiff that business and walk out, which is theft and stealing.
Exactly, and come get your alternator fixed and then don't pay me, it's the same thing.
Yeah. So we're going to pick and choose the laws that we don't want to go by anymore, and I'm going to make a list of them, and then I'm just going to say, well, if you're going to let the sanctuary illegals come in here and say that for this industry or that industry we need the workers and we're going to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the problems, why should they get a break and you and I don't?
Exactly, and I'm with Jerry. I think the people that done this should be liable. The ones that let them out, the sheriffs that let them out and don't hold them, the families that they victimize, I think should go after that sheriff or after that judge. I mean, it's only fair.
Or that association or that CEO that advocates it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's the mood I'm in this morning. I don't know why in the world we can allow lawlessness. I don't care if it's the dairy industry here in the state of Idaho. I don't care what industry it is. If we're going to ignore the law, or we're going to turn away from the law, then what rights do we have left as citizens? And you're going to have utter chaos like they have in Venezuela right this minute.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you got a lawless country. Just look down to Venezuela. That's a lawless country where the government is not abiding by the laws. They're writing their own.
Yeah. So I guess what we're going to do...
especially when politicians do what they do and do not get held accountable for it. So, I mean, what's the punishment?
Yeah.
They're going to keep on doing it.
So I'm going to make a list today, and I want you to make a list today, and I want you to post it on your pickup, and I'll post it on the windshield of my car and pickup of the laws that I'm not going to respect and the laws that I'm not going to honor, because if we're going to let one group get away with them and they're going to have sanctuary places to go and live and hide and stay there without fear of reprisal or arrest, I guess I'm going to do the same thing.
Well, I'm just going to put on back of my pickup, this is a sanctuary pickup.
Yeah, there you go.
I do not have to abide by any laws I feel that is unfair.
Now, isn't that conversation that we just have total incompetency and idiocy in a society that should value their laws and their Constitution, that we'd even be thinking about that kind of chaos?
Exactly. But that's what it sounds like. I mean, and that's what it is when the Democrats start spewing it. It sounds like a couple school kids arguing on who gets to go first at marbles.
There you go.
Or, no, that doesn't work. When you knock it this way, then I get that marble. You don't get to keep it.
I remember reading in our own local newspaper, the Times News, many, many times about various people that are connected to various associations and groups that say, oh, well, now we need them. We've got to do this. And maybe we should just kind of turn our heads to the side and look the other way. Okay, well then, if I want to run to town and do 80 miles an hour, I'm just going to have them turn their head and look the other way. This is asinine to start picking and choosing what laws we're going to adhere to and which ones we're going to scoff at.
Exactly. And you get a bunch of kids, just like the Democrats and those people are pushing for open borders, having their way for 8 years, and then all of a sudden you get an adult in the room that's put his foot down and said, no, you've got a curfew, you got this law to follow, you got that law to follow. They're going to get their dander up about it. It's going to bother them, but it's something that's got to happen. We got to have an adult leader. We cannot have somebody who picks and chooses what they want to do.
You know, it's just so it's almost laughable if it weren't so serious and such a heinous crime. This guy up in Portland deported 20 times. Doug, 20 times, man.
Well, he should have a bunch of frequent flyer miles.
My gosh. And that poor woman that was assaulted and raped in her own home by an illegal alien, call it what it is, 20 times? Are you kidding me?
That's exactly where that family should go after everybody that turned this guy loose, that picked him up and said, oh, okay, you can go back out on the street. You should go after them. And I mean go after them on a civil suit.
Amen. Doug, thank you so much for your call, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you.
God bless. And everybody, let's take care of our senior centers. And did you post that website, Zeb, on your Facebook?
Wait a minute, Buckwheat. You're asking me, computer illiterate Zeb, if I posted on my Facebook? Who do you think you're talking to there?
Okay, the Cooper posted.
I'll have her take care of it. Thank you.
Anyway, let's help those 13.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't ever give me the recognition that I understand computers. How dare you?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey, buddy, thanks. I want to remind everybody about Streamline Precision. They're one of the great businesses supporting the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo for this month, I should say, coming up of August. 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Tim and the crew from Streamline Precision would like to give a great big shout out to all the policemen and firemen who risk their lives every day to protect us. And they say be sure and attend a great event, the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. And Magic Valley Irrigation, 4040 East, 500 South of Burley. Jeff and the crew at Magic Valley Irrigation would like to thank everybody in agriculture. They really appreciate the job well done. Don't forget, Magic Valley Irrigation manufactures wheel line elbows. They've got it all for you at Magic Valley Irrigation. And AMI, 719 Overland and Burley. Look for the big 28-foot wrench over the door. And I love the slogan, go nuts over their bolts. I love it. And they're at 719 Overland and Burley, AMI. Oh, my. We've got to get a weather forecast in here, and then we'll take some more of your calls. Please don't weaken on me. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, our sponsor of the weather, the only locally owned and independent hearing healthcare practice in southern Idaho with the lovely Dr. Christine Pickup, and she knows sound. She knows hearing and how to help you. Call for an appointment, 312-0957. Here's Gina with the weather.
I'm going to be sounding like a broken record for the next couple of days because, well, welcome to the final day of July as we are moving into the beginning of August, and sunny skies is going to be the mantra at least through Wednesday. Sunny skies and 94 for today is what we're going to be expecting. Winds light and variable. Tonight looks like clear skies with a low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny skies, 95, overnight low of 57, and again for Wednesday, sunny and 95. Tonight, the sunset's going to be at 8:55 if you care to check that out. And that's your weather for Zebit the Ram.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please, they're right across from the Minidoka Hospital emergency room. Write the number down and give them a call for a hearing screening appointment, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Did you hear? Did you hear and see the news clip of Nancy Pelosi over the last couple of days when she looked at the camera in a not very shy way and said, "I am a master legislator. I know all the ins and outs and the intricacies of our budget." I thought, you pumped up lady. I got to be careful there. I am a master legislator. You know, Nancy, a little word here. A lot of the Democrats, to their credit, can't stand you anymore. A lot of the Democrats, to their credit, are ready to turn you out to pasture where you should have been a long time ago. You are not what you think you may be. A master legislator. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see what else is going on in the news. Oh, you're not going to believe this story. Now, here we go with the liberal loons, the left-wing liberal loons. The University of Iowa's student newspaper has announced the discovery of a special privilege which intelligent people acquire as an accident of birth. What? The new privilege, called cognitive privilege, functions in the same way as now the left and the liberals are saying is white privilege. Where do they dream up this stuff? Listen to this. Privilege, in general, is the receipt of certain benefits wholly through accident of birth. And it is undeniable that privilege itself is a reality, the student newspaper explains. Now, don't have a furrow in your brow. I'm going to explain this. As with skin color and much else, Daily Iowan author Dan Williams argues people have no control over how smart they are, and life is a huge cosmic lottery of winners and losers. Cognitive privilege, I hope I haven't lost you yet, bear with me. Cognitive privilege is one of the many kinds of privilege besides white privilege. Thus, the accident of having been born smart enough to be able to be successful is a great benefit that you did absolutely nothing to earn. Consequently, you have nothing to be proud of for being smart. Oh, this makes my head hurt, honestly. Now the liberal loons, these destitute of any common sense people, are saying that the whites, if you're born white, you already have privilege. It's a gimme, 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 and we'll give it to you type privilege. Oh, really? Let me see. I got to check something here. Yeah, I'm white. Oh, what an earth-shattering revelation. I'm white. And I've worked since I've been 14. And I paid for my own college education. And I pay all my bills. Where's the white privilege? Oh, and now students that are smart, this guy, Dan Williams, says, well, they automatically are going to get a freebie. They're going to get a free pass. They're going to get on the merry-go-round of life and step off and be successful just because they're smart and they have cognitive privilege. You know, how many doggone excuses can these loons make for not being successful and getting off their big fat butt, going to work, using the talent that God gave them, and developing a successful career instead of being a bunch of whiners with tin cups wanting the world to give them everything? I just can't believe what's going on in our society, and we're dumb enough now as a society and naive enough as a society to even think that these people have any clue as to what they're talking about. Hey, as my grandmother used to say. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, Zeb, you are not white. You have silver hair. Your eyes are either blue or brown or green.
No, they're hazel.
Your color is flesh. It's not white. How do you get that?
Jerry, don't be an opportunist to go after me. But what I'm saying is, and you can understand this, we are Caucasians, you and I both. Listen to me a minute. And I don't think anybody reached out to Jerry Voss when you were a young man and said, hey, Jerry, you're white. You have white privilege. You're smart. You don't have to do anything. You're so smart. We're just going to give you a free ride. Did that happen?
No, I think I was told I was pretty dumb.
No, I don't think that happened either.
I had a teacher tell me one time that geniuses live to be about 35 years old. And me and my brother were in the same class, and he said both of us ought to live forever.
Well, I appreciate that, but you know the point I'm getting at is, Jerry, this is the lunacy in our society today, that those that don't want to be responsible enough to go out and work hard and try to develop a career and be successful, they blame it on everybody else.
Well, and that's kind of normal for people that don't do. People that are out there trying their best and working every day to feed their families, and they do feed their families, and they do provide insurance, and they do pay their taxes, and they try and follow the rules, are always in the wrong. They just aren't right to be trying that hard.
Yeah. Jerry, I appreciate your call, buddy. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling back.
You're welcome.
All right.
I had to do that.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
I know you're a Caucasian, so am I.
All right. Well, listen.
I'm proud of it, and I'm going to be proud of it till the day I croak.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
I'm going to have a sense of humor. You have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless.
Thank you. You know, I would love somebody to come up to me, one of these liberal loon millennials or something, and go, oh, Mr. Bell, you're white, and you've got white privilege. And evidently you were smart because you also had privilege with your jobs, etc. Listen, Buford, I've worked for everything I've attained and achieved. Am I proud of it? Oh, yeah, I am. Really, I am. And I'm sick and tired of the whiners in our society. Oh, all I can do is stand on the street corner with this tin cup. That's all I'm good for. Well, yeah, you're right. That's all you are good for. Because you haven't had the self-responsibility and the self-motivation to get up off your big fat tail and get to work and use the talent God gave you. Okay. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, and they're helping you get where you're going this summer, or any time for that matter. They want to make sure you drive safely to and back from your locations, and they have all the tires to do so. Oh, tires like the Backcountry All-Terrain, All-Season Cred Advanced Noise Reduction, and tires like, for your automobiles, the Eclipse tire, Premium Traction, Superior Ride Quality. Oh, boy, all of these tires and much, much more at all 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers serving you. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Absolutely the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. We're going to take a little break coming up at 9 o'clock. I should say 9:15, Vicky's Country Gardens. And then at 9:30, we're going to talk to a really good guy, Greg Walton with the Minidoka County Fair. And we've got Richard Manning from President of America for Limited Government and Attorney James Herson in California. All this coming up, Zeb at the Ranch. Wheels, take it away, buddy. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that info on the Hall of Fame. It was fantastic. We really had a great time. Hey, welcome back to Zeb at the Ranch. And, of course, I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, along with some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services.
Hey, Western Waste Services with the dumpsters. Everybody's got a little bit of a garbage problem. Everybody's got some storage of a bunch of junk and everything else. Just get a dumpster that you think will be the right size for you. Fill it up, and they'll come and get it. They deliver it, you fill it, they come and get it. Man alive, that is always being at your disposal. Western Waste Services, you call them today, 734-6969. Western Waste Services, the best. By the way, too, I want to remind you, when I talk about the best, I'm talking about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street, near Connection Credit Union in Hayburn. Oh, my goodness. Number to call, number to remember for the care and welfare of your pets and animals, 678-1177. Mixed animal practice, meaning big or small, they do love them all. Dr. Bill and the crew over there at Ark Animal Hospital. And this is tick season. Watch out. If you take your dogs with you, boy, be careful, because they can transfer those ticks to you. Be careful out there. Ark Animal Hospital, 750 21st Street in Hayburn, where they have warm hearts for cold noses. I got time for a couple of calls. Give me a jingle on the landline, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Can you believe it? Summer is really putting on the brakes already. We just got rolling. Yeah, warm temperatures, going to the beach, enjoying, and already, we're going back into football season. Yep, they're going to start reporting for all the camps, the mini camps, training camps. High schools are going to be getting ready, and oh my goodness, it's a great time of the year. Fantastic. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo, is this, it's going on, man. I mean, it's going to be starting today and going all the way through Saturday. Country Pride Countywide. Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Today, I got to tell you, they're going to have those lawnmower races starting tonight at 6 p.m. Wow. This is put on by the East End Fire Department. And you talk about a ripping good time. I've always wanted to do that. I really have. Get involved in that. Well, get out there tonight. It's going to be really a lot of fun. The lawnmower races at 6 p.m. And then for the rest of the week, I mean, we got a Lions barbecue on Wednesday, and they've got gymkhanas, and they've got junior rodeos, and an open rodeo on Friday and Saturday. Oh, boy. At 9:30 this morning, we're going to be talking to Greg Walton over there. Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo all this week. Country Pride, county-wide. Absolutely. Calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And I want to remind everybody again, I got another little news note here. Let's see. This is coming up on August 19th. The third annual Summer Hawaiian Luau. Oh, new. Minidoka County Senior Center on Saturday, August 19th at 5 p.m. in the park next to the building. They're going to have a Hawaiian menu, entertainment, raffle, and all kinds of fun things. So don't forget, that's the third annual Summer Hawaiian Luau at the Minidoka County Senior Center on August the 19th. And also, again, my dear friend and yours, Joel Heward, manager of Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. You know, they care. They care so much about the community and about all that's going on in the community, and they're always there to serve. And his family and his staff are there to serve you in a very, very serious time of need when there's the passing of a loved one, always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Here's the number to write down and the number to remember to call. They can and they will help you. 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary in Rupert. Once again, I've got to tell you, we had an outstanding weekend with the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame. Friday night, we had Give Cancer the Boot, and percentage of the proceeds going to the St. Luke's Cancer Foundation. And then on Saturday night, amazing. And I'm not just saying this. The truth is in the pudding with the pictures and the film on KMBT and everything else. Wall-to-wall people with the great banquet and induction for the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame inductees for this year. It was phenomenal. Thank you very much for everybody's help. And then yesterday, when all the people left our house that were staying here, we had about 17 people here, when they all left, and we waved our goodbyes, and our smiles started to wane, I hit the lawn chair out in the backyard, and it was over, man. I looked up at the birds in the sky once and then closed my eyes and said I'm sleeping for the rest of the afternoon. Woo! That was a long, long weekend. In just a moment, we're going to get all set to go with Vicky's Country Gardens, and looking forward to having her on the program this morning. Another great event that's coming up in a couple of weeks will be the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo, and some of the great merchants that are involved in that I'm going to tell you about right now, and they include Pickett Equipment Company at 976 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness, since their inception in the 1970s, they are now shipping equipment all over the United States, and as a matter of fact, all over the world. These folks know what they're doing. They've got the best in bean equipment. Pickett Equipment Company, 976 East Main in Burley. Along with the Goodie Shop at 133 East Main in Burley. Oh, the Goodie Shop. Delicious goodies for everybody. Call today and get on their delivery service. They've got sandwiches, brownies, cookies, everything. The Goodie Shop in Burley, 647-0106. Wonderful, wonderful people serving you. Along with Burley Veterinary Hospital at 2869 Overland in Burley. My goodness sakes, yes, they are fantastic. And we want to give them a great big round of applause. Good luck to all the 4-H and FFA members. They work on all animals, large and small, at the Burley Veterinary Hospital, 2869 Overland in Burley. Really good folks. Well, it's time we get on the airwaves with a lovely lady. And, yes?
Oh, never mind.
Never mind. I love that. Never mind. Thank you very much, Wheels. Never mind. The lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden, 185 South, 600 west of Paul. And you talk about a lady with a smile on her face and serving folks. That is her. Good morning, Miss Vicky. How are you?
I'm just fine, Zeb. How are you doing?
Well, not too shabby. Are you all ready for your Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo?
You know, I am. I'm ready, and I'm hoping everybody comes out to see us. It's going to be a fun fair, and I've been involved with that fair so many years. I think they think, is she ever going to leave?
What do you do at the fair?
Well, I decorate for the Queen contest. I take shrubs and stuff and decorate for their Queen contest when they do their style review and that type of thing, and decorate for the kids' pictures to be taken with their animals. I have to make sure I got stuff the pigs don't eat. Trust me, I've lost a few things to pigs over the years.
Hey, watch out for those doggone pigs.
And that works out really good because that way I can make sure the kids get the money they need and all that kind of thing. And if anybody's interested in helping us out, we'd love to have new buyers. If you don't understand all of the different ways, there's lots of ways of helping kids out. If you need any advice or anything, just give me a call because I can sure either buy for you or let you know how you can go about adding on money, things like that to help kids out, because we've got a lot of kids that really count on us in the community to help them get their animals gone and hopefully make a little money for all the work they put into it this summer.
You know, Vicki, let me ask you, and we're getting off subject just a little bit, but your involvement and your help and your assistance at the Minidoka County Fair, what about the kids themselves? Do they today show as much appreciation as, let's say, they did 10 years ago?
You know, you've always got a few that don't, but I mean, but the majority, I would say a good 95% of those kids, they're all good kids. They work really hard. And yes, they do appreciate what you do for them. You see a lot of good kids when you come to the fair and watch them with their animals. That makes it worthwhile because the kids really do. They work hard. It's hard on them to sell their animals, but as a rule, when that check lands in their hand, they kind of swallow hard, and it works okay.
Okay. Hey, I've got a lady that I know really, really well. It happens to be my wife with a question for you this morning, okay?
Okay.
And it's about petunias. And petunia care in the hot weather. Should she asked me this morning, should she be picking off the dead petals and everything and trying to clean up their act, or just leave everything sit there dead and kind of decaying?
No, always taking deadhead as much as you can, and if you've got petunias that are turning yellow and looking kind of bad, back your water off just because it's really hot. They don't need to be watered a whole lot. Kind of give them their fertilizer and give them, if they're starting to look a little long and leggy looking, cut them back. Just pinch them back. Petunias, you can't hurt them by giving them a haircut. All you do is give them energy to put out brand new leaves.
What about other flowers?
Just cut it off and it'll come back new and healthy.
Okay. What about other flowers at this time of the year?
Same thing on most, especially annuals and that. Your perennials need to be deadheaded. If the bloom's gone, take that bloom off. That gives that plant the energy to put out new growth, new blooms, and that. Otherwise, they keep trying to send energy to that dead one. So just trim them back good. Usually follow your stem back on most of your stuff back to where it attaches to the main stem and cut it there. Don't just cut the head off of them. Follow it back and do a good solid cut on it as it goes down. Follow the stem clear back down like on geraniums and that to the main stem.
Well, now, going back to what you were saying a minute ago with the Minidoka County Fair and everything, what about the produce for the fair? Are we on schedule? Are they ahead of schedule? Are they behind? Tell us a little bit about what this weather has done for growing for the produce for the fair.
I think we're going to be a little behind. I don't think we're going to have quite the size on produce that we normally have. Just kind of by the way people are coming in talking about their gardens and that. Flowers and stuff that normally are in full bloom by now are just now starting to come into bloom, so we may be a little short on that. And again, if they're taking flowers to the fair, water up the night before really good. Go out early in the morning, like just about day when it's nice and cool, and cut your flowers. Have a bucket of cold water with you. Immediately cut and put them immediately in the water. Don't leave them laying. The earlier you can get them when they're cool and fresh and full of moisture is the best way, and then go right into a cool area, refrigerator, whatever. Clean them up and then go right in, and keep them cool all the way into the fair. Don't let them get dry. Don't let them be out of the water at all. Produce the same way. Pick it early in the morning when it's full of moisture and looking its very best.
Well, now let me ask you this. You've been a judge in the past of flowers and produce, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Now, what does a judge do? I'm really going to put you on the spot here because I don't know what you look for as far as differences or pluses or minuses when you're looking at flowers and or produce. How do you judge that? To me, that would be harder to judge than livestock.
It is. I've judged livestock too, and it is harder. Usually you have your categories in flowers. It'll be a stem of 5 flowers. Well, you have to have 5 flowers on that stem, not 4.5, 5. 5 flowers, and you want them all in the very best of shape you can possibly have them. As a judge, you look for spots on the flowers, spots on the leaves, any kind of a flaw in the leaf or anything like that, or on the flower. The straightness of the stem, the sturdiness. You can just look at them and see the healthiness of the flowers. On the produce, you look for the crispness, what you're dealing with. So if you've got a bunch, you go in, like say, for instance, zucchini is going to be, like you would go for the larger, you'd want the better quality, firmness, no blemishes, no blossom end rot, no yellowness. You want a good solid vegetable on that type of thing. And the different things, if it calls for 3 in a grouping, then you better have 3 of the best, because they're going to judge each one individually on that 3.
Okay. Now, hold on a second, Vicki. I've got to ask Wheels a question. Wheels, are we having a lot of static on the line over there, or is it just this line in particular?
Ooh, yeah, we are having a lot of static. It's just this line in particular.
Okay, should I call back and finish the interview or finish it first?
It's up to you. I can play some bumper music while you try to reconnect.
I think it's really bad enough to the point where I'm going to ask Miss Vicki to sit there. It won't take less than 30 seconds, Vicki. Give me a break. I've got to try a new line because this one's really bad. Would you mind?
Nope, that's not a problem.
I'll call you right back.
Back in?
No, I'll call you. I'll call back into the station. You stay right there. Thank you. Hold on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sir, I'll put you through.
Okay, good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And we're back on the air. Hopefully the line's a little better. Sometimes they get a little fuzz and a little crinkling and a little wrinkling, and I didn't want to spoil the interview with the lovely Miss Vicki. Vicki, I know I could go and judge a horse halter class because I've done it many times in the past, but boy, you can see the differences. You can see the difference in the conformation. I think a lot easier than produce, and that's why I'm very respectful of somebody like you that can do the judging of all the produce and the flowers.
Well, yes, judging livestock, you have certain guidelines that you go by, and of course, everybody has their own tastes in that also, as far as livestock goes. But and it makes it a little easier. You know what the conformation's supposed to be. Judging produce, it's and that it's kind of the same thing. You just have rules. You have to look and make sure everybody has followed the rules. They are appropriately entered. They haven't, And then you go to look for the quality situation. And this time of year, with all of the bugs and stuff, the judges may have a real hard time. They may have to be a little bit forgiving this year for the simple fact that we do have a lot of bug damage. There's been a lot of disease, a lot of everything going. So it could be it literally could get down to the point to where it could be one speck on a flower that will get the blue ribbon versus the red, that type of thing.
Wow.
It's just, it's fun. You can get, people get they get upset with you as a flower judge, just like they do as a horse judge or a beef judge.
Absolutely. We have a caller with a quick question. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I have an apple tree. It's about 2 years old and hasn't produced any apples yet. But the leaves, right at the tip of the leaves, they're getting brown. Just a little, right at the tip. It's not going back into the leaf, but it's still right in the leaf.
Okay, we'll have her talk about that on the air. What about his apple tree where the leaves don't look so good, Vicki?
Well, everybody's having some problems with fruit trees right now and that type of thing. Could be, I don't know if he's fertilized recently. That can be a little bit of a fertilizer burn, possibly. It can also be the sign of somewhere along the line it's gotten too wet and the tip is getting in trouble. There's a zillion things that it can be. As a rule, if the rest of the tree is looking good, I wouldn't worry too much as long as it just stays on the very tip end of that leaf. If it starts spreading, then it can be a fungus. It could be a possible fire blight starting, which is a bad fungus that gets into fruit trees. Can be stopped, can be sprayed. But if it stays just on the tip of the leaf, I wouldn't get too concerned. But if it starts spreading down into the leaf, then we need to go in a little deeper and figure out why it's doing that.
Okay. Now, Miss Vicki, it's hard to believe, but in just a little bit more than 30 days, we're going to be right up to Labor Day. And people, that Labor Day weekend, that might be their last hurrah to try to get something done to beautify the outside of their home with the bark and the rock and all the other items. What have you got over there that would really fit the bill?
Well, we just got in a whole new load of bark, so we're fresh up with lots of all sizes of bark. We've got all the rock in that anybody, all the different colors. We have the Montana River rock that's really colorful, and it doesn't blow away in the wind. If it does, I'm leaving town because that's going to be dangerous at that time. But rock is a real good thing to put down. Right, it's an investment. It really does. Stay put, and you don't have to keep taking it up and putting it down. We have all the weed mat, and we have the topsoil, the compost. If you're building a new bed or whatever, we can help you with all of that type of stuff, too.
I got to ask you one other question before I let you go. When you were judging all these, the flowers and everything else, did you ever have anybody come up to you and say, "You don't know what you're talking about"?
Well, I didn't say it in that exact language, but I knew what they were meaning. Yes, they question. They'll question you. These ladies that have grown flowers for years. Why did you pick that flower over my flower? Well, and one thing, you don't know whose flowers you're judging.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a horse show and a flower show. The names are hidden. You're judging flowers on their own, not by who grew them, not if it's your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, or whoever. You have no clue who's got what in there.
Absolutely. We got a quick call, real fast call. Caller, real quick. Go. You're on the air.
Vicki, I have a pickup that has a long bed on it, 8 feet long. How much does it cost for a load of bark?
And a pickup bed that long, I can get, if you want to work it, push it down in the corners, I can do 2 yards in there. So the regular bark, the chunk bark is $45.99 a yard. So we'd put 2 yards in there. So you'd be looking at about $100, and you can get a good 2 yards in one of those big pickups.
Probably cheaper than dirt, right?
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vicki, I got to tell you, I've thoroughly enjoyed, again, having you on my program this summer, and God's blessings to you. Don't get chewed out by anybody in the flower department, and thank you so much. What are some of the specials quickly at Vicki's Country Gardens?
Well, we're going to be, right now we've got perennials on sale, 25% off. We will be starting probably middle of the week, somewhere along in there. We'll be doing possibly some shrubs on sale and then be moving through trees. We're just going to do weekly specials. So just either check our sign or come in and see us, give us a call, and we can answer the questions. But if anybody has any problems, as they know, on their gardens and stuff, all they got to do is call in or come in and see us.
Absolutely.
And we'll sure help them out or, help them decide what to do or what their problems are and try to get them cured for them if we can.
All right. The lovely Miss Vicky at Vicky's Country Gardens, 185 South, 600 West of Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. Vicky, enjoy. See you over at the Minidoka County Fair.
All right, and have everybody come and see me. If you need help buying an animal, let me know. I can sure get one done for you.
Okay, thanks, Vicky. We appreciate you. God bless you. Thank you. Nice lady right there. Hey, don't forget, too, over in that neck of the woods in the Rupert area, oh, my goodness sakes, let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, where the fun is sold. Oh, they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. They've got all the watercraft. Still plenty of time to enjoy water fun with the watercraft from Let's Ride. All the four-wheelers, and they've got all the side-by-sides. They've got all the accessories. And to make sure you keep running and enjoying the great outdoors of Idaho, a super service department, too. Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24, as I said, between Rupert and the World, it is the truth. Let's Ride is where the fun is sold. Let's not forget, to our friends over to Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. And they really care. They're dedicated and responsive to your needs, and believe me, very accessible. All you need to do is just get a hold of them today. It's your responsibility. Initiate the appointment and help protect yourself. Call them 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. In just a moment, we're going to get on the line with Greg Walton over at the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Stand by for that, but I also want to remind you, too, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert, the only locally owned and operated and assisted living center in the Mini-Cassia area. Yep. They make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place for your loved one. And they invite the public, come on in and visit, see their facility anytime for tours. Remember, they really care about the members that live there. It's a small facility compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Call them today and find out more. 436-3200. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Well, right now, let's get on the phone, because I think he's warming up his lawnmower in the background, ready for the big lawnmower races tonight. Greg Walton with the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing great, Zeb. It's Fair Week. How are you, buddy?
Man, I would imagine that you're about walking off the ground 6 feet high right now, because this is what you live for, and that's the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo with the theme this year, Country Pride County-wide. Greg, what is going on over there?
I'll tell you what, Zeb, we're just getting kicked off. We got a lot of kids running around today. They've got their 4-H interviews. The weigh-ins for the animals will start today with beef. We've got the lawnmower races tonight. We've got the vendors are pulling in. The merchant building is filling up with people setting up. You know, we're just kind of getting things set up this morning, trying to do it before the heat hits. But we're ready, Zeb. We're ready to have some fun.
Tell us a little bit about, I've always threatened every year that I was going to be a part of the lawnmower races. Now, what happens? Give us the whole guacamole about these lawnmower races. What time do they start? How much are the tickets to watch? Who can enter a lawnmower? I mean, tell us everything about it.
All right, Zeb. So anybody can enter. I think there is an age limit, but I can't remember what it is. I know there's ladies' races. There's team races. There's guys' races. Those lawnmower races kick off at 6 o'clock. If you're going to race, I believe they want driver meetings around 5:30 today. Cost is $5 per person or $15 for a family, Zeb.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, if you've never been to a lawnmower race, it's ranked right up there with NASCAR, Zeb. This stuff gets a little crazy. I mean, them guys got them souped up. It's not your run-of-the-mill, craftsman mow your lawnmower. It some of those get souped up, and if you're not rubbing, you're not racing, Zeb.
Well, let me ask you now, you say there's some of them are souped up. Now, I know the lawnmower I've got, my riding lawnmower, it probably won't go over maybe, 10 miles an hour? You mean to tell me they've kind of altered the engines a little bit?
I would say they've altered the engines, but I'll guarantee you some of those have probably got the carburetors tuned up on them a little bit. They have some outlaw classes where they've got some of those got snowmobile engines in them for drag racing. I mean, these guys are serious lawnmower racers, Zeb.
Now, you said something about a driver's meeting, so it sounds to me like there's rules and regulations, no fighting or fisticuffs in the pits or whatever. What are they going to talk about at that driver's meeting?
Basically, they're just going to tell you the rules, what you need to do, talk about how the lawnmowers need to be set. They'll start breaking up their classes, different horsepower classes. It's just like a regular race, Zeb. I mean, they keep it as close as they can, stock lawnmowers or outlaw lawnmowers. It's a fun time. The people love it, Zeb. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to come, you might want to get there early because I'll tell you what, they do fill up that whole grandstand and arena.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Now, that starts tonight at 6 o'clock, right?
Yep, that pretty much kicks off our festivities as far as our evenings go. Man, Zeb, what all do you want to talk about? We can go into Tuesday night. We got the PMT Night at the Fair with the Robbie Walden Band. It's free, Zeb, a free concert. It's in the back grandstands along the racetrack.
Okay, now we've got a caller with a question, Greg. Let's see what they want to talk about the Minidoka County Fair. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Quickly.
Hi, Zeb. This is Joe Phillips. Greg knows me. I'm the one that puts on the lawnmower races.
Yes, sir.
And anyway, you've touched on about all the bases. The age is 18. We do have some guidelines. If somebody brings a machine, we have to, check it out. Safety equipment, kill switches, tethers like that. But our classes are 8 horse, 12 horse, 14 and up. We have an FX class, and then we have an Outlaw 200 class, which is a Honda four-wheeler chassis with 200cc motorcycle engines.
Woo!
And these things just go sideways.
Oh my!
And then we have our Outlaw drag. So yeah, everybody come out. I think this is our 20th or 21st year of doing the starting of the Minidoka County Fair.
Now, these guys that drive these things, I mean, besides being nuts, are they going to win any money, or what's the deal here?
We have some really, really nice trophies, Zeb. I mean, nice trophies. And you've been talking about coming out. We need to get some of the radio personalities out there and we'd make a class, let you guys go at it, and then you'd have your bragging rights for a year. I'll furnish the machines.
I'll tell you what, I would love to. This is an event that I think is so much fun to watch and everything, and it starts at 6 o'clock tonight, right?
Yes.
And what are some of the speeds that you mentioned, like these outlaw lawnmowers will reach? How fast can they go?
We have some of those with just Briggs & Stratton engines that'll do 40.
Whoa, baby!
40 miles an hour down the straightaway. We had some policemen out there with their little radar guns.
Yeah.
And I was clocked at 47 miles an hour one time.
Holy man.
I don't drive them anymore. I just put them on. But these little Outlaw 200s, they'll go about 40. The 8-horse motors will go about 25 to 30.
Well, I'll tell you what, you could really mow a whole bunch of lawns at 40 miles an hour, I'll tell you that.
Yes, you could. And Greg, when he used to run the fairgrounds out there, he was such a good guy to work with. Now we got James Frost, and he is great. And he does a really good job at that fair, Greg does. So
we appreciate your call this morning. Thank you so much. God bless you, and have a safe time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg, I'm telling you what, that sounds like a lot of fun, and that's all tonight starting at 6 p.m. Now, you were mentioning the Robbie Walden Band on Tuesday night, and it's free. And then we go to Wednesday with the Antique Engine Show at noon, and then tell us a little bit about the Lions Barbecue at 5:30.
You know what, Zeb? The Lions put on a barbecue dinner every year. They've got their corn. It starts at 5:30 under the pavilion. Nice shaded seating. Cost is $10 for adults, $5 for ages 6 and under. Get a hold of any of the Lions guys to get tickets, or go to their booth. They've got their booth right there in the food court at the fair.
Okay. And then what's this deal about Wednesday? I heard a rumor there's going to be free ice cream and Dutch oven cobbler.
Not a rumor, Zeb. Totally true. We started doing this, it's probably been 6-7 years ago, maybe just a touch longer than that. The Fair Board wanted to do something strictly for the community. The Fair Board puts this on. They cook all the cobbler. I mean, we're talking 16 or 17 30-inch Dutch ovens full of different kinds of cobbler, free ice cream. Just come out, enjoy it, but get there early because it does go fast, Zeb.
I'll bet it does. Now, Thursday night this week, the Junior Rodeo starts. And tell us a little bit about what kind of events you're going to have, who can qualify to participate, that type of thing.
All right, Zeb. We did change something. The Junior Rodeo is actually going to be Wednesday night and Thursday night. We have grown this Junior Rodeo so big that we're going to try doing 2 nights. It'll start at 7 o'clock. Get with in fact, I keep forgetting that. The entries close on that today, Zeb. We've got junior divisions, senior divisions. I don't have it in front of me on what the age groups are, but if you want to call the fair office or just jump online, look right under the Junior Rodeo tab. It'll tell you all of the breakdown on what it's going to be. And maybe you have it there, Zeb. I don't have it with me.
I don't have it right in front of me, but they can call the fair office. Do you know that fair office number, Greg?
Yes, 436-9748. Or just go to the internet and jump on MinidokaCountyFair.org. I actually do got it, Zeb. My phone's working. Age groups, as of January 1, 2017, junior division is 9 to 13. Senior division is 14 to 18.
All right. Now, on Friday and Saturday night, you're going to have an open rodeo, and I also know that you were looking for applications for the Grandma Queen contest. How's that filling up?
So far, I think they've got a few applicants. We can always use a few more. Those need to be into the fair office, I think, no later than tomorrow at noon. We got to figure out who we're going to get and vote on that this week. That's a neat deal, Zeb. We're just trying to honor a grandma in our community that has done so much. I mean, we've had ladies over the years that were involved in rodeo, in 4-H, on the fair board, fair committees, just different people. So if you think your grandma qualifies for that, just write it up, send it in, and we'll see who we get.
Now, also connected to the open rodeo, the wild cow riding contest. Now, are you still looking for teams for that?
We are, Zeb. The last few years we've been a little short. I don't know if we just don't have the people willing to do it, if we've made it too tough or what, but if you and your buddies think you want to win a really nice buckle, you ought to enter up in that deal.
Well, now, give us the times, the performances of the open rodeo on Friday and Saturday night.
Open rodeo, the mutton busting starts at 7 o'clock. Minimum age on that's 4 years old. Can't weigh over 50 pounds. And the open rodeo starts at 7:30. Okay. Adult tickets are $8, $5 for 6 to 12, and under 6 is free. You can buy a family ticket with 2 adults and 4 kids for $30. Friday night, we've got the Junior Princess, and the Queen contest. Saturday night, we've got the Grandma Queen. We also have the Dick Seal Trophy getting presented, I believe, on Saturday night. Zeb, it's a great time. I brag about our fair, but I'll tell you what, it is a hometown fair. Come out, sit underneath the shades, plenty of great food, good people. It's a good time to visit. Yep.
You know something? If everybody everywhere had the enthusiasm that you have, and boy, I'm telling you what, I really respect that. You really are a good salesperson for the Minidoka County Fair. Now, did we miss anything? I got about a minute left in this interview. Did we miss anything we need to highlight?
Yes. One more thing, Zeb. I am on the livestock sale committee. These kids have worked hard all year long in our community. Every year, Zeb, they step up and take care of these kids. Our fat stock sale, the livestock sale, will be Saturday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Come sit under the pavilion. We've got plenty of seating. We'll feed you a pulled pork lunch. The kids will actually deliver it to you in the seat. Zeb, come out, support these kids, buy an animal, take it home, meat in the freezer all year.
Oh, Greg, I tell you what, great job this morning. And the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo full swing this week, starting tonight with the lawnmower races. Greg Walton, God bless you, man. You did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb. We'll see you out there.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. What nice people. What a great county fair. Minidoka County Fair this week. Country pride county-wide. Absolutely at the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo. Wheels, we had to make adjustments with that one bad phone line. Are we coming in better now? I was going to check with you.
We're still getting some static and some crackling. I don't know exactly what the issue is, but maybe we can try to reconnect it at the top of the 10 o'clock hour.
We will. I'll call you back right after I make the split for the CBS News. I'll give you a call. We'll reestablish another line. How's that?
All right, so that sounds great.
Right now, it is time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The best of CPAs providing accounting services to the Mini-Cache area for well over 50 years. The best of tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, retirement planning, and the list goes on and on and on of the services they can provide to you, your family, and your business. So remember them, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with the offices in Burley and Rupert. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
I'm going to be sounding like a broken record for the next couple of days because, well, welcome to the final day of July as we are moving into the beginning of August, and sunny skies is going to be the mantra at least through Wednesday. Sunny skies and 94 for today is what we're going to be expecting. Winds light and variable. Tonight looks like clear skies with a low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny skies, 95, overnight low of 57, and again for Wednesday, sunny and 95. Tonight, the sunset's going to be at 8:55 if you care to check that out. And that's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And thank you very much, Gina. Appreciate it. Brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And like I said, 2 locations serving you in Burley and Rupert, and they can help so many people in so many different ways, whether it's folks starting a business, a partnership, or a corporation, or business owners that want to see if they can hire some more employees, in so many different ways. Please contact them today. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. We were talking a little bit ago about that story about white privilege, and then it went to the story regarding now if you're smart, the millennials are saying that is called cognitive privilege. Don't these stories all tell you that the liberal left, the millennial liberal left, is looking for a dumbed down, nobody speak up, nobody excel, nobody try to go to the top of the class? They just want a society where we're all a nation of stupid, meek sheep. That's what it sounds like to me. And when somebody can excel, we had a guy in our class, my high school class. This guy bordered on absolute genius. I mean, no matter what you asked him, he always had the right answer. He just was so great, and he heads up a great big company back east right now. Why? Why are we trying to thwart people and minimize people and ridicule people that are smart? We try to ridicule and minimize people that have incentive to go do their very best. Why? That is absolutely nuts. And now, as according to the story from the Iowa newspaper, University of Iowa, now they want to try to denigrate people that are smart, and they're calling it a cognitive privilege. First off, about 6 months ago, they started with the white privilege. Now they're going into cognitive privilege and saying if you're smart, oh, well, you didn't deserve that. You don't deserve to have the accolades because you were just born smart. God gifted you more than somebody else. They don't even use the word God because they don't believe in God. I am so fed up with this. Our whole society is being dumbed down and pushed to lower standards. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You know what I don't understand about the Democratic Party, excuse me, is the fact that they're disruptive and interruptive. You cannot hold an intelligent conversation with the true Democrat because they'll interrupt whatever you're saying.
Yeah, you know, Keith, in a way, I agree with you, but I'm not going to lump everybody into the same ice cream bowl. There's some Democrats out there that I've had good conversations with. There's some Democrats that absolutely, they can see the pitfalls, they can see the positives, but I can't lump them all together. But I'm sick and tired of a society that tries to minimize people's value and say, oh, well, you shouldn't achieve that, you shouldn't do this. We should be a society where everybody is reaching for the stars to do the very best they can.
Well, I guess you misunderstood me. I meant Democrats who are outspoken, don't think before they speak, and that sort of thing. The ones that are calm and ordinary people like us are very good people. But the ones that are hateful in their speech is the ones that cause the problem.
And I agree with you. When Nancy Pelosi stands up in front of a TV camera and brags about herself as being, I am a master legislator, you know, it just kind of made me wrinkle my brow a little bit and say, oh, Nancy, go sit down and be quiet.
I thought she's kind of comical.
She is. She's a clown. You've hit it right on the head.
Well, so what she's saying is not true.
Yeah. Keith, God bless you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you clarified your point. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, buddy. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, it's something I haven't heard from the likes of other legislators. I've never heard Mike Crapo say, I am a master legislator. I know everything about the budget. I've never heard him say that. I've never heard Jim Risch say that. I've never heard Ryan and others say that. But Nancy Pelosi, because right now she's kind of on the hot seat. There are the Democrats and absolutely the Republicans that would like to see Nancy hit the trail for the last time. And I thought that was extremely egotistical and very pompous of her to say, I am a master legislator. Yeah. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Jerome County Fair and Rodeo, August 5th through the 12th. My goodness, are they going to have some ripping good times over in Jerome. Let me just highlight some of the things they're going to be having. Let's see. They're going to have, of course, a great big carnival. They're going to have 3 big nights of top professional rodeo. They're going to have bullfights, as a matter of fact, connected to the rodeo this year again. They're going to just have all kinds of fun and tractor pulls, you name it. It's going to be at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo. Actually running August 2nd through the 5th over at the Jerome County Fairgrounds. Don't you miss it. A lot of fun at the Jerome County Fair. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Morning. Do you think if somebody threw a bucket of water on that Nancy Pelosi that she'd melt like the Wicked Witch of the West?
One can only hope. You know, what did you think about her comment when she said, I am a master legislator?
She's the only a master of fools, for sure.
You know, the woman is way past her prime. The woman is way past her time. And I think even the Democrats are looking for an escape hatch to shove her through and close the door.
It's sad that she's fooled her constituents for so long, or else it's proof that there's such deep corruption in those type of politics there also.
You know, that's a good point. Really, it is a good point. And you would think the constituency in California, like with Maxine Waters, they would just say, okay, gals, thank you, go sit down, please be quiet, don't come back.
You know, I consider her a master criminal because she's been fleecing the American public for so long.
I can't argue with you. I'm on your side. I agree with you. And I want to say thank you for your call. God bless you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, and fleecing is a good word. Look at the case of Barbara Waters. Well, there's another case of twit. Let's talk a little bit about Maxine Waters. This woman absolutely has become a multimillionaire. And when someone like Tucker Carlson laid it out on his TV show as to, how did you get so wealthy, supposedly being a representative for the people? Then all heck broke loose, and Maxine Waters and her staff and her people started attacking Tucker Carlson and really going after him and his television show, etc. But the fact is that she is one of the very, very wealthy elite in the state of California, and also one of the biggest racists that's ever held a public position. That's true. And when you look at her and Nancy Pelosi, and then, of course, like what Harry Reid was, I mean, they've been in office way too long. They're not serving the public. They're serving themselves. They're serving themselves with a big plate of, this is mine, I'm going to take more of it, and the heck with the little people. That's exactly what the problem is. Let's see, what have we got coming up next hour? I wanted to remind you that we're having the President of Americans for Limited Government. Hooray! Richard Manning's going to be on the program with us at 10:06. And then at 10:30, one of my all-time favorite guests on this program, an attorney from California that absolutely tells it like it is and really throws a pie in the face of the Hollywood hierarchy, James Herson is going to be on the program with us, so that's what's coming up next hour. I am going to send it back over to Wheels in a moment. Wheels, I'm going to hang up that line, and then we'll try another one. For some reason, we've got a lot of static this morning, so I will try another line during the break for the news. If you'd come on right now with the bumper music, we'll go ahead and reestablish the phone line. Wheels, take it away. Oh my, here we go. Hour number 3 on a Monday, the last day of July for this year. My goodness sakes. Hey, Zev at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. 734-6969. Also want to acknowledge on Thursdays we have a segment called Cassia County School Days, and our thanks go out to our sponsor. 2 of them, as a matter of fact, that we're very, very much appreciating everything they do. A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, and believe it or not, they've got all the new fall clothes already in there, along with all the toys and the games and the children's clothing. My goodness sakes, the baby furniture at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. Stop in and see them today. And don't forget to call the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley, 677-8888 for your outpatient surgeries and save you money. Absolutely. Give them a call today. Find out more. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County on Thursdays. Right now, I'm really looking forward to having this gentleman back on our program again. He is the president of the Americans for Limited Government. Hey, hey, here. Richard Manning, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Zeb?
I tell you what, Richard, I got to tell you right up front, I am so disgusted, and that's not a word that I take lightly. I'd like to use the cowboy version of disgusted, but I'm not going to do it on the air, as to the way the House and the Senate and our government in general is being stonewalled and stopped dead in its tracks. What in the world can we, the taxpayers and the citizens of this country, do to start reminding these people they work for us?
Well, that's a great question, and it's the $64 question. I think that the first step in the process is, look locally. Who are the people in your state? Who are the federal elected officials in your state? And attempt to contact them and remind them that it's not just the big things like the health care bill. It's little things that they do that make no sense, that actually detract from our capacity to drain the swamp and to have economic growth. Simple example. Last week, while everybody was paying attention to health care, the House of Representatives voted on an amendment that would have effectively taken out the Congressional Budget Office ability to do bad analysis on bills. We know how bad their analysis was on health care. We know that they essentially provided the fact underpinnings for the Democrats to oppose it and some Republicans to oppose it. And we know that those facts were based upon false and bad assumptions. Some Republicans attempted to defund the analysis section of CBO and force the Congressional Budget Office to do something very simple: consolidate what think tanks were saying and provide that information to Congress. 120 Republicans voted to keep the very analysts who are never right, but the analysis used for political purposes. Voted to keep those analysts with a paycheck. And they did that while we were looking at the results, the wreckage that their analysis caused on health care. It's not just the little things; it's not just the big things; it's the little things where our elected representatives are getting it wrong, and we're sending out something to the media right now, laying out who voted where on that bill.
Absolutely. Richard, I want you to comment, and I know I'm off base a little bit. I want to talk to you about this piece with Jeff Sessions, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Sure. But, I absolutely was incensed with anger about the deal with Congress dragging their feet on this health care bill, and I'm glad that Donald Trump, our president, made a warning to Congress that said basically, and I'm giving a kind of a Zeb Bell attitude on this, he said, hey, listen, boys, I'm going to cut your subsidies on your health care plan so that you can share in the wealth or the demise of health care just like the American citizens are. You better get to work and get things done. What were your thoughts when he said that to Congress?
It's absolutely right. It's the absolute right response. Should have been, and in Congress, if they like the existing system so much, they should live under it. And and right now they get subsidies that others don't get. There's a variety of extra little benefits that they get. Congressional offices get treated as if they are small businesses, as opposed to when they aren't. So there's some things that President Trump can do to effectively put Congress under the same system that everybody else is under, and that's exactly what he should do. And that's so I think it's not only smart politics, it's smart policy.
Yeah, but Richard, are they getting the message? Are these people in the halls of Congress understanding that maybe if they're standing on a rug, it might get pulled out from underneath them? Do they understand, and are they going to change their ways, or are they just going to keep on with the same old, same old?
Well, there's a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I'm hoping that saying is wrong. You've got a lot of members who are very comfortable with the way things are. You have, they've done quite well under the status quo. They didn't want Donald Trump to be president, and they don't want his agenda to succeed. And that's not just on the Democrat side; it's on the Republican side also. So we have but Donald Trump is attempting to shift their attitudes. I think it's a hard process, but ultimately, the people do get to have a say-so, and even in districts that are 100%, where a Republican can't lose or a Democrat can't lose, it's really incumbent upon the people to say, hey, we want an alternative in the primary, and to put alternatives up in the primary and force these guys to defend their positions to Republican voters, at which point it becomes much more difficult for them to support the status quo.
Absolutely. Okay, Richard, I want to talk to you a little bit about Attorney General Jeff Sessions. I like the man. I have a lot of respect for the man, and I think he's an honorable man. That being said, did he, Jeff Sessions, cause a lot of this disruption by not notifying or talking to or visiting with the White House, especially our President Trump, about the fact that he may recuse himself from the Russian investigation? What are your thoughts? Did he do the right thing or the wrong thing?
I don't think that there was a... First of all, I think he did the right thing in terms of the notification part of it. The timeline on it was... the Russian investigation, he was well along in the confirmation process before this started to come up, and quite honestly, there was no reason why he would have thought that he would recuse himself in that confirmation process. He went to the DOJ. A number of the attorneys sat there and said, because of this, this, and this, and gave him reasons and said, we think you should recuse yourself. I don't know what I would have done in that position. I think that if we're going to look at casting aspersions, the guy who's blown it is Rod Rosenstein, the number 2 at Justice, who is this political appointee, just as Jeff Sessions is. And he's the one who appointed special counsel, and he's the one who appointed James Comey's best friend as a special counsel. That's where, if I were having ire at somebody who's there, it'd be at Rod Rosenstein. And that's and quite honestly, my recommendation to Jeff Sessions is appoint a special counsel to go after a wide variety of things, including the unmasking, the Hillary emails, the whole variety of things that were part of the campaign for last year. Appoint a special counsel to go after that, and narrow, in the same statement, narrow Mueller's search, his investigation, to only those things dealing with, specifically with Russia, over the last 9 months.
Absolutely.
And narrow Mueller down to that. If Mueller wants to investigate Trump up and down, that's fine, but it's got to be in those 9-month period and only on that specific subject. I would narrow his, and then when Mueller pushes back and they get in a fight over the scope of what he's doing, then you have a real argument going on of whether or not Robert Mueller is doing his job and whether or not he should be fired. But you have to set what his job is very, very directly, and what his job is to do those things that Jeff Sessions could not do because of recusal. And that's a very narrow focus, and that's all Mueller should be looking at. And anything he looks at beyond that, he should be called on the carpet and be told, no, you don't have money to do that.
Absolutely. Now, Richard, I have a lot of respect for you, your position, and all of the people that you, along with others, signed a memo in support of Jeff Sessions. That being said, and I also support the gentleman, but that being said, has Donald Trump as our president, has he hurt himself because of the tweets and the comments negatively about Jeff Sessions, or is this something that can be repaired?
I think politics people have to have a very short memory. It's kind of like being a cornerback in the NFL. A guy lines up across you, beats you deep once. If you dwell on it the rest of the game, your rest of the season, you're shot. In politics, we all have to have short memories in terms of that kind of stuff, because every one of us gets beat up on for something, and you never forget it. But you don't allow it to direct your actions. I think the Attorney General, on a wide range of issues, is doing an extraordinarily good job the Justice Department was politicized by the Obama administration. He's attempting to de-weaponize it. He's changing a lot of the policies that they've had. He's creating an environment where it is truly a Justice Department again, as opposed to a weaponry, legal weapons department. And and so I think he's essential to moving forward. What's more, he's leading the charge in terms of going after the MS-13 members that have been allowed, the El Salvadoran drug gang members who have been infiltrated our country because of Obama's loose borders policy, and have been the source of much of the violence that we're seeing going across in many of our cities. So I think he's really doing the things that Donald Trump says he wants the Justice Department to do. And if we can get ourselves by this Russia thing, I think he's going to have to be an extraordinary Attorney General for this country.
Okay, well, I guess the bottom line is to ask you, and I'm putting you on the spot, do you think, yes or no, that he's going to keep Jeff Sessions on, or is there going to be a divide that he has to fire him?
I think he'll keep Jeff Sessions on.
Good. Now, let me ask you this. When you talk about Donald Trump, you know the man. You have been right there visiting with the man about trade agreements, etc. I don't blame Donald Trump one little bit for losing his temper over this administration's first 7 months because of the knuckle and foot dragging by the Democrats and, quite frankly, the split in the Republican Party. I'm surprised Trump hasn't come out more vocalized and with more animosity than he has. What are your thoughts about this?
I think Donald Trump has every reason to be upset that the Republican majorities in the House and Senate have not stood up for his presidency, have not forced his appointments through, and that he's not seen the same kind of support from the Republican leadership of the House and the Senate that quite honestly, the Democrats have given their leaders in the past. And it's he hired Reince Priebus as his chief of staff, I think largely because he was attempting to buy that goodwill to be able to get that stuff done. And I think Priebus's demise was directly related to the failure of Congress to do those things, including health care, being kind of the capper. So he took steps to reach across the divide and bring in one of them to the top position in his White House, and he was rewarded with virtually nothing. And it's at some point, you have to say, I'm going to start being president of the United States here, and I'm not going to wait around on you guys. And that's what he's doing.
Well, let me ask you this, Richard, and I'm almost out of time, and I'll ask this as one of the final thoughts. I think absolutely right now, after 7 months, he's got to change the persona or the personality of what he wants as president. He's got to get tough. He's got to tell the Democrats, if you stand in the way, we're going to either step over you or around you. We're going to get the job done. He's got to notify the Republican Party that they've got to be a Republican Party of doing something instead of being like wheels stuck in the sand, and the American public, and I can speak for my listeners here in this area, they're fed up with a not do anything Republican Party. Is this going to change, or are we going to see more of the same old, same old?
It's going to be harder to get stuff done as we get closer to the 2018 elections. But having said that, if I were advising President Trump, this is what I would do. I would spend nonstop on the road talking to people in 15 states. The 15 states, the 11 states that the Democrats are up, where where the president either won the state or they came very close to the state, and then the 3 or 4 states where you've got Republican problems, places like Nevada, Arizona. You go to Alaska's a far flight, but you do it, and you go up to Maine, and you basically go to places where you have to get those senators to vote your way on some stuff. And that would be what I'd be spending my time doing if I were the president. He's great. He's out on the road. And when they get him trapped in the White House, he gets defined by all the mess that's around him. He needs to be outside the Beltway making his case and driving the message. And if he does that, I think he'll be successful in driving Congress.
For what he's had as far as roadblocks and potholes in the road to stop him and his administration in these first 7 months, what about your organization, Americans for Limited Government? Are you happy with what you see and what you think potentially is there in the White House? What are your thoughts?
I think the president's done an extraordinary job in dealing with a lot of regulatory morass left behind by Obama. There's a lot of work still to be done there, but he's done a great job on a lot of the environmental stuff. He's opening up. He's really opening up the doors in terms of being able to unleash energy and grow our energy sector, which means growing our whole manufacturing sector as well. I think he's doing a good job on trade. Taking a look at trade agreements and making certain that they're being honored by our trading partners. I think he's doing a good job there. And so he's hitting the basics in terms of what's supposed to happen. Where he's not getting stuff done is he's not getting stuff legislatively done. And that has always been the hardest piece of the puzzle. It's the hardest piece of the puzzle because he's dependent upon other people to do it. And but the things that he can do, the things that he can control, I think he's done a pretty darn good job starting off in terms of doing the things he can do to revitalize our economy. And now he's got to go on the road to try to get Congress to do what they can do. That includes tax reform, it includes health care, and it includes a infrastructure bill that does things like helps us grow the grid, so the electrical grid, so we can so we have the electricity capacity to support a new manufacturing base.
You know, Richard, I agree with everything you said, up to an addition I'd like to throw in as a major problem that Trump has to overcome. Yes, health care. Yes, tax reform. But I'm going to throw another fly in the milk. He has to come up with a solution somehow for North Korea.
I'll agree 100%. I mean, the foreign policy end of it is a completely different game between North Korea, Iran. We have a Middle East, the morass in the Middle East. We're up to our necks in, and North Korea is, the truth of the matter is, they have an ICBM missile that will be able to reach the West Coast in the next year. And so the development of their long-range missile technology has leapfrogged where we thought it would be. And we've been depending on China, Japan, and South Korea to try to rein them in. And that has not, so far has not worked. And I know we did an overflight, a couple of supersonic aircraft overflew North Korea as a warning that we could take them out anytime we want to. It's a difficult scenario. The South Koreans just put in a new guy, a new president there who is pretty far left and is looking at trying to a kind of a appeasement policy with North Korea. They've got a huge problem. Seoul, South Korea is 60 miles from the DMZ. It's literally 60 miles from North Korea, and they don't have and. That's where 25 million, about half of their South Korean population, exists in Seoul and the suburbs. So you're looking at the South Korea being extraordinarily vulnerable to short-range missile attack from North Korea, and it is and they are scared to death. So it's a challenging situation, and he's going to have to negotiate it. He's going to have to negotiate it, meaning figure out a way through it, not negotiate with North Korea necessarily. Figure out a way through it. Bottom line is Obama created an environment where North Korea is going to have a missile. It's following on, Clinton's administration, where they opened up the door for them to go nuclear, and the Bush administration, basically was just trying to hold them in abeyance, and over 20 years they've grown to being a rogue state that is not only crazy, but they're going to be nuclear power.
Absolutely.
And that is dangerous for the entire world, and it has to be dealt with. I don't know what they're going to do to deal with it. I don't know enough specifics on it, But you're absolutely right in pinpointing North Korea. It's going to be there's always foreign policy stuff like that pops up that define presidents, and North Korea is going to be one of them. And it's we're in a dangerous situation, probably the most dangerous nuclear situation that we've been in since the Cold War.
I agree. I absolutely respect this man. I hope he'll come back on the program again in the future. President of Americans for Limited Government, Richard Manning. Sir, God bless. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you. Anytime you need me, Jeb, I'll be happy to be on.
Thank you, sir. Very, very insightful information from a gentleman that knows. Richard Manning, President of Americans for Limited Government, and he has known and worked with and for Donald Trump in the past. Right now, I want to remind everybody that the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo has a lot of great merchants that remind you they want you to come to the fair, including Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Streamline Precision, of course, can build your steel buildings just the way you want, whether it's agricultural, industrial, community. They can do it all, built with steel insulated panels, freezers, prefab buildings, all this. Call my friend Tim at 431-7314 or 678-9204, Streamline Precision. Along with Perkins Bakery and Restaurant at 800 North Overland in Burley. Oh, my, it is good. Come on in, enjoy a meal, get 10% off your meal for the entire family, and just ask your server how you can save money and enjoy great eating at Perkins Bakery and Restaurant, 800 North Overland in Burley. And last but not least, Bed Key Treasure Barn at 1558 Normal Avenue in Burley. Oh, my goodness, what a unique inventory. And they've got sofas and love seats and barber chairs. I mean, they've got all kinds of different clothing, everything there at Bed Key Treasure Barn at 1558 Normal Avenue in Burley. And all of those great businesses invite you to the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Right now, we're going to send it back over to our main studios, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next guest, James Herson. Don't go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
You know, I've got a lot of guests on this show every day of the week, and this man has been a favorite to have on the air. He's a straight shooter, and wait a minute, I hear wheels. He's not there?
I haven't been able to get a hold of him yet, but I am trying the secondary number that you had given me,
okay,
and I'm hoping I can get a hold of him and we can get him on.
All right, well, you just keep trying both numbers and keep dialing away. Let your little fingers do the walking, if you would, please. We're waiting for James Herson, and I certainly hope we can get him on the air. Deanne, could you help a little bit over on that end and try to run James Herson down, if you would, so we can get him on the program this morning and discuss the Trump presidency. So, with that being said, I'll give you that sheet. There you go. And we've got a little opening here for some calls. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give us a jingle on the landline. We would love to talk to you. Coming up on August which day is it? No, it's September 5th. September 5th. I see that we're going to have another area code in this area with a 986 prefix. And what they're, I guess, telling us is that the new dialing procedure, even for local calls right here in this area, will be to go with a 10-digit telephone number, 1208 or 1986, and then the rest of the 7 numbers. So that's going to be starting on September 5th, and we'll be having to dial, I guess, the whole 10-digit numbers of 1208 or 1986, and then the balance of the numbers. So that's going to be starting on September 5th. Damon, we have another number. Are you ready? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
All right. The number is, Deanne, I lost it. Which one is it? 949. No. Which one, Deanne?
That one.
This one? Okay. We have 714-614-0400. 888-522-4701. That number he is waiting for. You have that number.
Yes, sir. I will give him a call.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll have James Herson on the air momentarily. And tomorrow on the program, Dr. History. Boy, we have had so much response with Dr. History segments, and it's listened to in over 100 countries around the world. People are really in tune with all the Western stories and stories of our past, etc., from not only this area, but the entire West. That'll be on tomorrow morning at 10:06. Dr. History with Dr. Ken Turner. He does a phenomenal job and one of the real stalwarts of our program that we've had on for many, many years. Wheels, have we got him?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Once again, a gentleman that I really enjoy having on my program. He's one of my favorite guests, and I introduce to you now attorney and spokesman for all that is good and bad in California and Hollywood. Good morning, James Herson. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Zeb. How are you doing?
I am great. I've got to ask you, before we start talking about President Trump, I would imagine that you watched your television and were so proud when fellow Californian Nancy Pelosi stood up and said, I am a master legislator and I know all about the budget. Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy all over?
It made me feel warm and fuzzy. It made the members of the Association of Plastic Surgeons of California feel very good as well. But no, you know, but I have to say the people that it really upsets are the Democrats, because they want new leadership, they want a new direction, and they look up and there's Pelosi and Schumer, and I think those two are fantastic news for people who are right of center, because they're going to help keep the Democrats a minority party.
You know, James, every time you pick up a paper, I don't care if it's USA Today, I don't care what paper it is, the negativity about Trump. Last week, there were 3 or 4 headlines in the USA Today alone about, oh, the impending impeachment of Trump, oh, the impending demise of this administration. Wait a minute, stop the bus for a minute. What has the man done illegal or anything that's impeachable?
Well, of course, there's been nothing impeachable, and what they do is, obviously, the media is not fulfilling in any way the role of journalism. They are not out there to inform. They are out there to obfuscate and disguise what's really happening, because what's actually happening are record profits, almost 3% growth going on, and actually the 2 areas of the country where there is, well, actually I could say 3 major accomplishments of Trump, all 3 the media hates. The first is the border crossings being down 78%. And now that's because, obviously, that big percentage has a lot to do with the fact that the previous administration ordered people who work to keep our country sovereign, ordered them not to do their jobs. So that's why there's that big accomplishment. The second is, I mentioned, 2.9% growth rate and record profits for corporations. Well, the media hates those things. And the third is, Gorsuch is sitting on the United States Supreme Court. Our court was saved for a generation. Those 3 accomplishments should be something that conservatives cheer about, but unfortunately, the establishment conservatives are aligned with the media and being obsessed with trying to take down Trump. The so-called never-Trumpers never accepted the election, and that's clearly what they're up to.
But, James, when you talk about words like indictment and words like impeachment and like it's looming over this administration like a black cloud, all of this is Hollywood hype, and you look at the Michael Moore situation with calling him all kinds of names and everything. Hollywood seems to thrive on throwing words out there and hoping that the gullible American public will bite into them, and that's what's happening with the words, I think, impeachment and indictment. Am I wrong?
No, that's correct. I mean, look, you're talking about Hollywood people who are used to having other experts write their words, and actually they're taught to turn their brains off. And they do a very good job of that. And so when the left issues talking points to their troops in Hollywood, they uniformly, and I'm talking about the Hollywood left, just read from the same page of scripts. And so, yes, of course, the people, like Rosie O'Donnell and George Clooney and Barbara Streisand talk in terms of impeachment and indictment, and they have in their social media accounts all the way through. Impeachment, obviously, at the present time, is not possible because there is no grounds, and there's no votes, and there isn't enough votes even for the spineless establishment Republicans to impeach Trump. But they have talked about indictment, and even to the point where the left-wing media and the guys in the New York Times has found a document from the Clinton era when Ken Starr was special prosecutor, a document that Ken Starr himself didn't utilize and disagrees with, but a document that claims that the President of the United States, a sitting president, can be indicted, which is not constitutionally possible. And it doesn't matter to the left wing what the Constitution says and what is possible. They just have a dream. Still, the same people that wanted to change the outcome of the Electoral College, the same people that claim that Hillary didn't lose, Vladimir Putin did it. So they're trying to come up with some way to undo this election, even now, and I think they will for 8 years.
Wow. We're stuck with this mess for a long time. Let me ask you this, and I'm reverting back a little bit, but don't you think, as an attorney and a student that knows politics, that it would be totally unfair and very biased against the Trump administration if Special Prosecutor Mueller is allowed to go back any further than 9 months of investigating Trump? Because what he did before the 9 months when he was elected as president, really that should be off limits, should it not?
Well, that brings up an important point. Yes, I agree with you. First of all, we'd have to start this conversation by saying Mueller should never have been appointed. I don't know whether Rosenstein was acting on behest of the Republican establishment or some agenda or somebody else, but the idea that a special counsel was appointed when there was no evidence of any crime, when in fact we look back at the last 8 years of Barack Obama as president, and we had scandal after scandal where the public was screaming for a special counsel, and the Republicans, the same Republicans, Rosenstein claims to be a Republican, who are caving into the Democrats instantly and appointing this special counsel that shouldn't have been appointed. Secondly, Mueller is so conflict-ridden, he is not someone that should have been appointed in the first place. If you're going to appoint a special counsel, there's supposed to be someone who doesn't have a conflict with a key witness, a la James Comey, which is Mueller's best bud, and you're not supposed to have a conflict surrounding the main issue that he was ostensibly appointed to investigate. That is the firing of James Comey, which was initiated by a memo written by Rod Rosenstein. It is a conflict-ridden mess. But here's the part you brought up. There are literally no limits placed on Mueller in any way on budget, scope, time. He has an unlimited ticket to investigate whatever he wants. That is unprecedented. That is wrong. And if the Republican leadership were in any way team players, they would go in there and pass legislation to limit him. They would actually investigate him, investigate Comey. There's no question that Mueller sees his role as someone put in there to get rid of this president. And he has picked his personnel carefully. He now has 15 lawyers. He will spend tens of millions, maybe more than that, and it'll be our money being spent to get rid of the president that at least half of us voted for.
James, one other point I want to make there. It's easy to point our fingers at the Democrats and condemn them for everything that's going on, the Pelosi's, the Schumers, etc. But I also lay at the feet of the Republicans the same blame for being disoriented and not a very stand-up John Wayne type party. They need to unify. They need to know that they're in office with the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office, and they need to tell the Democrats either step out of the way or we're going to step over you and start working for the American public. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do, and I think the president is right to threaten to take away the subsidies that give members of Congress the Rolls-Royce here. I think that is a brilliant move. I think what the Senate did, the personification of it is John McCain with his thumbs down, voting no gleefully, and then happy slapping with Chuck Schumer and hanging out with the Democrats. Matt Drudge, in his Twitter account, put up a picture from John McCain's campaign where it was McCain with a slogan that he wanted to get rid of Obamacare. What John McCain did was despicable, it was traitorous, and he surprised, supposedly, the leadership. Because under any normal circumstances, the majority leader of the Senate would not bring it to a vote if he knew that this so-called maverick was going to go sideways. It's shameful what McCain has done, and he betrayed his constituents in Arizona, who've had the biggest premium increase in the United States, ironically.
You know, I had a guest on last half hour this morning, James, and we were talking about some of the biggest things that need to be done and corrected by this Trump administration for the American people. Naturally, health care. Secondarily, of course, tax reform. But then I inserted my own major worry. I think this man is stuck with a problem with North Korea that absolutely is going to test the mettle of the American public over the next 6 months, because Kim Jong-un is a problem that's not going to go away.
Yeah, I think Charles Krauthammer said that for numerous administrations, when it comes to North Korea, they have been kicking the can down the road. And Krauthammer said, we've reached the end of the road. And I think that is true. I think once our intelligence, which is very good with North Korea, but our intelligence shows us that he is actually deploying on a stand or in any form a missile that's getting ready for launch that could hit the United States. We have no choice at that point but to preemptively strike. A preemptive strike against North Korea automatically results in a horrible response which will cause numerous deaths. No matter what we do, we try to mitigate that. But because Kim Jong-un has his disposal, and we never talk about this, not just the nuclear weapons, but he has a giant army of conventional weapons, including modern artillery, tanks, and troops, and he will march into South Korea, to Seoul, a very densely populated city, and will and obviously launch an all-out war. And the risk of that for geopolitically is enormous. But as you point out, this is the reality. These are the cards that the Trump administration are dealt. The only thing we can take comfort in is that he's assembled perhaps the greatest military minds ever in a cabinet, the form of General Mattis, in the form of even, his chief of staff now, General Kelly, being a military guy. They understand the risk. They understand clearly, clear-eyed what's going on there. And that it is, and I wouldn't want them to tell us, but I'm sure they have contingency plans for various operations and involving our allies where, in fact, we don't wait until that seminal moment and we actually go in there and make a change. And we have to do it by force. There really is no other way to deal with this guy.
That being said, and you are a student of these political situations, James, what about one little 5-letter word, China?
It's a huge word, and it is part of the equation. And China has a faction within their government. China has their own military-industrial complex, and their generals have been saber-rattling for decades. They would love an excuse to mobilize a very formidable military force. It could easily turn into a world war that starts in the Pacific. But, Japan they're changing their approach to their military. And if Japan decides to arm, it's a two-edged sword with Japan, but they will have a really incredibly formidable military in short order. So hopefully we'll be able to have a deterrent there where China thinks twice about escalating a situation like that. They obviously are not taking the steps that the Trump administration have requested them to do and have meaningful help with Kim Jong-un. And even Dennis Rodman can't help us with this one.
I absolutely enjoy having you on the program every time I can. James Herson, attorney, and just an all-around political pundit that understands the world situation. James, thank you so much. God bless. Please come back soon.
Thank you, Zeb. You have a beautiful week.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. James Herson from California, and you really get some great insight as to the various political problems that are going on right now and world problems with James, and I appreciate his being on our program. Oh, my goodness, I got to get to the weather. I can see wheels over there going, Zeb, look at the clock, Zeb. Yes, you're right. Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. They bring you now the weather forecast for this hour. Absolutely the most delicious of meats in their retail meat department. Stop over. You're going to love everything at Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
I'm going to be sounding like a broken record for the next couple of days because, welcome to the final day of July as we are moving into the beginning of August, and sunny skies is going to be the mantra at least through Wednesday. Sunny skies and 94 for today is what we're going to be expecting. Winds light and variable. Tonight looks like clear skies with a low of 57. Tomorrow, sunny skies, 95, overnight low of 57, and again for Wednesday, sunny and 95. Tonight, the sunset's going to be at 8:55 if you care to check that out. And that's your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
I tell you what, Gina, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yep, the retail meat department over at Scarrows Meats, whether you want a prime rib or whether you're looking for buckboard bacon, that's a new, leaner, and more economical than traditional bacon. Several flavors, too, like lemon pepper and smokehouse barbecue, ranch. Oh, it's all delicious. And, of course, the breakfast sausages, all the bratwurst, everything at Scarrows Meats. 331 North Road, Jerome. The telephone number to call, 324-7657. And it is true. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Good meats. Great meats at Scarrows Meats. I want to tell you real quick again a thank you to our major sponsor of this program, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, my goodness, and get where you're going this summer safely. Absolutely. All the different tires, all the different tread designs, all the different sizes for your cars, your pickups, your SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever. And don't forget to ask them about a free pre-trip safety check where they'll give a visual inspection of your tires, including the air pressure, wheel alignment for tire wear, front end components, brake components, my goodness, shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. They want you to go where you're going and get back home home safely. All 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. Wow, that's it from me today. We're going to wrap it up and put it back in the box. Tomorrow, another great program. We've got a lot of great folks coming on, including, I think, Dr. Ann Pierce, and she's going to be talking about China and other things with the nuclear crisis that's going on. And Dr. History is going to be on the program tomorrow, all of that and more. As we'll celebrate tomorrow, August 1st already. Holy cow, where is this year going? Zeb at the Ranch on K-Bar, 12:30 a.m., and then streaming live all over the universe on the internet, zebbell.com. And don't forget our slogan, because it rings really true today. The way things were are the way things ought to be. Thanks, Wheels, over at the main station. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch, take it away, buddy. Have a good day.